constantly fight with life. Meditation showed me how to save my energy, how to get quiet, how to find a steadier center. When I do this, I find I can handle more intensity and respond more appropriately to what life's trying to show me. George Mumford is a leading expert in sports psychology and performance. When he coaches athletes, he says, respond from the center of the hurricane rather than reacting from the chaos of the storm. So, what exactly does he mean? Today we find out. So find a comfortable position and then close your eyes. You can start with a few deep breaths. So stretching up on the inhale and then a nice long exhale. And as you breathe out, kind of see if you can loosen your forehead and your jaw and soften the shoulders. So our attitude right at the start is important. We're deliberately holding ourselves in a way that's easygoing, not uptight about distractions or even whether you find the meditation hard. So see if you can let your body be loose and relaxed, even as your spine itself is strong and straight. It's like you're holding yourself with an athlete's sense of calm preparedness. This is equanimity. Now, as you inhale, imagine you're inhaling up from the ground, up through your spine and the center line of your body. This feeling of a center line is going to be our base in this meditation, the thing we pay attention to and come back to. It's partly an idea in our imagination, and it's partly a feeling of our body in space. The breath can help us find and hold this line. So as you breathe in, you can imagine that each inhale kind of lights up this center line, and that each exhale moves back down it. So just try this for a bit. Good. So you're breathing normally, but you're focused on this idea of a center line through your spine. And as you do this, your body's not rigid. You're relaxed, flexible. In fact, if you were to move or turn, the line would move with you. It's the absolute center of you. It's normal for there to be distractions, worries, sounds, physical discomfort. The move here isn't to fight these things, to brace against them or to lash out. Instead, take a nice long exhale, like, and do the opposite. See how totally open you can be, no matter what kind of intensity is there. You can imagine that all these intensities of sound and distraction, like they come up to you, and you're so open, they just pass right through. That's what we mean by holding the center line. The center line is the eye of the hurricane. It doesn't move even as everything else moves, and nothing can touch you when you're fully open. Can you hold this line? Be this open? This freaking brave? Keep going. Just over a minute left of this training to stay open in the midst of life's hurricane. Spine straight, body composed. It's like you're holding it down in the center of the world. Nice. And now for the last little bit, let go of any effort and just kick back and totally relax. Sometimes it feels like we're in a snow globe and someone's shaking the crap out of it. Our instinct when things get intense, inside and out, is to interpret everything as a threat, to brace and fight. And sometimes fighting's the right move. But a lot of the time, the more skillful move is to open instead. Life comes at you, and you neither flinch nor attack. Instead, you stay cool. You remember the center line. And from this place of poise and bravery, we make our best responses. Go ahead and open your eyes. Great practice. Tomorrow we explore the clarity of waking up. See you then.
All right. That was awesome. I hope you guys feel the same way. That was, I like, especially since yesterday our quote was about good timber does not come with ease. The stronger the winds, the stronger the trees. So we know life gets chaotic. We know, especially as we pursue things that we want to do with higher level jobs and school, and just when it's all coming, it can be a lot. It's like a hurricane, right? There can be problems, there can be lots of deadlines, there can be things that make us want to go in and kind of go back to feeding the bad wolf, right? Like feelings of insecurity or I can't or doubt. There's a lot, and especially with how we live these days and everything going on in the world. So I really like that Jeff's talking about, just trying, no matter what, that you can be grounded in that eye of the storm, that you can find a place of, like, the more solid you can be, just in your overall person. If you're okay up here, everything else is going to be okay in the world, and you just know that. And meditation is a way to help you just remember that, and to chime into your higher self or your calm self, or what really matters in life. So thanks for meditating with me, you guys. Stick with it. There's lots of good stuff in here for us. Okay, well, our speaker is supposed to be here, Christine Ma. I'm gonna check my email real quick and make sure she got my Zoom link. Let's go to share screen. Let's see what's going on. Okay, I sent it. So, there she is. Perfect timing. Okay, awesome. Okay. All right, you guys. So during, as Christine's getting logged in and getting ready to go, I want you guys to take notes on what she's going to talk about. This is kind of the beginning of our really letting you know who our partners are with helping you transition to college and your post-secondary training. So I want you to take some notes about what Christine's talking about today. And I know we're new into talking about college. So for some people, our knowledge is all over the place. Some people are still like, what's a bachelor's degree? Some people are like, not quite clear on some different career paths you'd like to pursue. So I know we're all over the place, but just so Christine knows, you guys are working on career research, you're working on soon on choosing a college to do a presentation on, and you've done a lot of assessments so far. So personality assessments and multiple intelligence. So you're working on trying to discover what your gifts are, what your talents are, what you might be interested in. And if you don't know yet, it's okay. It's a process. So I'm going to introduce Christine and let her tell you about her program. I don't want to take all her time. Hi, Christine. It's good to see you.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me today.
Yes. So I'm going to put on so you can share your screen because I know you have a good presentation. And I just told them a little bit about that, normally you're on the second floor in our building. Yes. You help students once they're ready to transition to college. You're like all things college, and you're kind of like this one-on-one career and college coach for people. So go ahead and let them know, and you guys come up with questions too to maybe ask Christine at the end. And even if you're far away from graduating right now, I know some people are looking at 2 years with us. So that's in a while, and your whole focus is on just how do I graduate high school? Just still kind of tuck in the back of your head that Christine is available when you're ready to start talking about what you want to do next. All right, Christine, it's all you.
Great, thank you. Hi, everyone. So I'm here to talk about my free college and career resource program called TRIO Talent Search. Like Wendy mentioned, I'm usually in the Rainier building with y'all, just on the upper floor, but I'm still working remotely currently. And so I still meet with students over Zoom. So I'm still available as a resource. And I also work during the summertime as well. So I'm available year round to answer your questions and provide you with any help that you'd like. So I'm going to share about my program. So I work with students of all grade levels, and like I mentioned, anytime throughout the year. And when you sign up for my program, you just fill out the application online, submit it, and you're in. There's no acceptance or rejection process or anything like that. You just sign up and you're in. And I work with students who are on any pathway after high school. So whatever your goals are after graduation, whether that's a 2-year college, a 4-year college, apprenticeship, technical training, service year work, or the military, I am here to answer your questions, help you navigate different processes like applying for college or programs, or applying for money for college, and provide you resources on any of those things. So some of the services that I work with students on include, like I mentioned, researching and applying to colleges. My program can provide fee waiver for college applications. So if you didn't know, college applications, it usually involves a fee if you're applying for like a 4-year college, but my program can help you pay for those fees. I can also help you register to take the SAT or the ACT for free as well, if you'd like to. And then, like I mentioned, I also help students with applying for financial aid and scholarships. So if you are, especially if you're the first in your family to go to college or apply for money for college, like I was, I am here to help you navigate the entire application process, literally step by step. I usually do a workshop to help students do that, but I'm also working one-to-one with students as well. I can work with you on career planning. So if you have an idea of what you want to do as a career, then I can help you with figuring out what kind of education you need for it, what kind of programs are available to you, all the things that you need to get to the career that you want. I can also help you with academic advising. If you're not sure which classes to take, then I can talk through it with you in terms of what would be most beneficial in terms of your goals after graduation. And once you join my program, I add you to my remind list for your specific grade. So I'm sure you all are familiar with getting remind texts from your teachers at CareerLink. So I text my students as well with important information around leadership programs, work opportunities, internships, volunteering. So if you're interested in things like that, especially during the summer, as I'm not sure if you're going to be attending summer school or not, but even so, there are programs happening a lot virtually still during the summertime. And so I've been sharing information about that with my students. Now is the application time. And if you're a junior, I'm doing a summer program as well for current juniors, rising seniors who want to get a head start on things like college applications, college essays, financial aid, things like that. So if you are in my program, then I'll be texting information about that to students. I do have limited slots for that. And so, so all the information I send out to my students. And if you're interested in different, opportunities, getting connected to a community outside of school, I know that leadership and clubs and sports looks differently at CareerLink, and so there are also other opportunities outside of CareerLink that are available. And I also take students on field trips to visit colleges. Of course, right now during the pandemic, it's on hiatus. But depending on what this fall looks like for next year, then we might resume field trips again. I have taken CareerLink students on field trips to places like Evergreen State College, Western Washington University, and then in spring, I also take students to Central and Eastern Washington, where we visit colleges that might be harder for you and your family to visit. And we usually stay in the dorms of Eastern Washington College. Eastern State Washington College. So You get to experience, college campus, eating on campus in the dining halls, as well as staying in the dorms. So that's an opportunity for students in my program as well. So these are, just some of the services I provide students. And how you can get connected to my program is by going to my website, ssctrio.com. There's also a QR code at the bottom corner there. If you want to use your phone to scan it, it'll take you directly to the website. And then at the top, there'll be a link that says Talent Search application. Just click on that, fill it out, you're in. And there's also another link for making an appointment with me. So it'll have my calendar up and my availability. So you can easily choose what day and time works for you. That way we don't have to go back and forth over email, trying to figure out a time. It's very easy, and you get, confirmation email with the Zoom link. You can just show up at the day and time that you signed up for. And then if you want to connect with me on Remind, you can join my class on Remind. That's for new students who aren't in my program just yet, and want to ask me questions about my program or have any quick college and career questions. And throughout me talking today, if you have any college and career questions, then please definitely put it in the chat. I'm not sure if you're able to direct message me, but if you are, you can do that if you don't feel comfortable sharing with everyone, or you can send it directly to Wendy and she can share out what the question is. I'm happy to answer any college and career related questions. There is no question that is too small for me to answer or is, quote unquote dumb or anything like that. There's plenty about college and career that a lot of students don't know about. And so I'm very happy to answer any questions that students have. So I'm going to show you real quick. Oh, and another way to get connected to me is to email me. My email is at the bottom right there. There's multiple ways to get connected with me, either through email, through text, or meeting one-to-one over Zoom. So here is my website. Like I mentioned, here at the top is the link to my application. It'll send you to a form. And if you'd like this in another language, you can pop down this language box right here, and it'll translate some of the questions for you. And then there's a link down here to get translated languages. And then if you want to make an appointment with me, you click on make an appointment. And then I'm here on the right side, and just click make an appointment. And you can see all my available times. If there's a time that doesn't work this week, you can just choose one for next week right here. And from there, you can just choose whatever time works best for you. So super easy to make a time to meet with me. And then if you're looking at my website on your phone, you might not see this menu bar at the top, but you'll see like 3 lines that when you click on it, it'll pop open the menu. And so just FYI, if you're accessing this on your phone. So here's a picture of me and my students at Central Washington University on a field trip. So if you have classes with Wendy, if you have classes with Molly, then you about some of the field trips that we've taken in the past. So yeah, I'll definitely connect with them about field trips for next year if everything is back to normal as much as possible for next school year. Any questions so far on my program, or anything about the services or how to meet with me?
I have a question.
Yeah, happy to answer.
So you help us with like college finding, but what if we want to find a college outside of the country?
I can definitely do that. It's a little bit harder for colleges out, like international schools, but it's definitely doable. And students, definitely go that route. And so if that's something you're interested in, I can definitely help you with, whether it's out of the country or out of state. I know there are students who have family out of state or are from another state and want to attend college back there. And so we can definitely talk about that too.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Were there any questions, Wendy, that have been coming up during class, or you feel like were like common ones that have been popping up a lot?
No, I mean, we just kind of started on this unit. We just got done with the mock interview and things. So we're just kind of getting into this for our last 3 weeks. So I think we're, any general information about college is appropriate at this time, financing college, high demand careers, that don't require a 4-year degree. Yesterday we talked about apprenticeship programs, and I shared the apprenticeship guidebook with people, and we looked at several different apprenticeships that they could go into. But yeah, just options, like what's out there, how does it look? Anything that you want to share?
Yeah, of course. I try to share information about apprenticeships and technical training programs when I can, because I don't think it's talked about enough in schools, like throughout your education, and even navigating the process of an apprenticeship program looks a little bit differently than college applications. And so I think it's a harder route for, it's harder for some educators to help students on it. And it's just something that students haven't gotten like regular information about.
Right.
And so I try to share about apprenticeships and technical programs where I can. If you're interested in apprenticeships, I can definitely help with that. That is some of the questions that's on my Kahoot, which I'm going to pull up right now.
Okay.
So rather than doing a lecture where I'm just spouting information to you, a lot of my information in a Kahoot game. So if you can pull up your phone or on your browser, you can open like another tab. I'm also going to put some information in the chat real quick. Okay, is everyone familiar with Kahoot? Any chance? So it's a game, you'll see the question on the screen as well as on your device, whether that's on your laptop or your phone. And then you just, we'll move through the question, you just pick the answer. Okay, so we're gonna do classic. So just go to kahoot.it.
Everybody, you need to log into this now. This one I know if you're asleep or not, because we're going to see you. We're going to see you up there.
Yes, and then the game pin is right here at the top. So 1672630.
What's the code again? I'm sorry.
It's at the very top. I'll put it into the chat right now.
So 1672630.
Yeah, and you're still getting logged in. Because this countdown goes by real fast and I can't control it, unfortunately. You can still get connected. The code will be at the bottom of the screen. So you can still play, you can still get connected. So the code is at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Or my screen. I don't know if it's gonna show up on your screen, but it's on my screen at least.
Yeah, I don't see it on my screen.
Okay. Well, it's also in the chat.
Okay, everybody. So make sure you've logged into www.kahoot.it, and the code is 1672630.
Nice. FYI, a lot of these questions might be hard for students. So don't feel bad if you're getting a lot of the answers.
Good job.
Well, I see there's more people getting on. If you haven't get a chance to get onto the game yet, we still have the second half of all the questions. We're only halfway through. So
Oh,
there's
good.
plenty of questions for you to answer if you're not connected to the game yet. Oh, we definitely have to talk about that one then. I saw someone in the chat. This is hard. Yes, I know. It is purposely hard so that we can talk about these things. I do not expect y'all to know the answer to these questions at all. Don't worry if you're like, this is, yeah, it's meant to be challenging. All right, last question. Cool. Well, congrats to Silver Ferret for getting the most correct answers in the game. Yeah, like someone said in the chat, it's a very challenging quiz, which I totally get. So let me go back to the start of the game, or like the quiz thing, so we can go through some of the questions that were especially challenging for folks. And if there's like if there's any questions that came up as you were going through the game that you really want to address, then I'd be happy to talk about that too, if you want to put it in the chat. But yeah, how do folks feel about the questions?
Can you show us like the questions in the Kahoot game, because I don't really remember a lot of them?
Yeah, of course. So you still see my screen, correct? You should see.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So I'm just gonna go through some of the questions that I think are important to talk about, and if there's any that I like skip that you do want to talk about, I'd be happy to do that too. So let's see. So about two-year colleges. So there are some two-year colleges. So I know I had another question about bachelor's degree, which I don't think everyone got how folks answered this one. But yes, you can get a bachelor's degree added to your college. South Seattle College has a bachelor's degree program in hotel hospitality, or I believe hospitality, at least. And so it's typically programs that you wouldn't usually see at a four-year college. And so they can be a little more like technical training based or things like that, but it definitely is possible to get a bachelor's degree through a two-year college. It just depends on the college and what degree that they have available. So if you go up to, so my question, what is true? Yes, they offer a bachelor's degree. Some two-year colleges, especially ones that are a little more rural, have on-campus housing, but typically students attend a two-year college that is close to where they live. And so depending on where we are situated at in West Seattle, most students typically attend South Seattle College or Seattle Central College or Highline College. But you can really attend any like two-year college that you want because it has open access, meaning if you apply, you get in. So there's no acceptance or rejection process, unlike four-year colleges. Two-year colleges were made to be open access, meaning they were made so that more people had access to education. And so when you apply to a two-year college, you're pretty much in. And it's, they don't really, your GPA, your high school GPA is not a factor. They don't need personal statements. They don't need test scores. And so it's, it's a lot more accessible for students. So I'm just going to go through some of the other questions that might have been a little bit more challenging for folks. Let's see. So typically, if you graduate from a two-year college, you're usually graduating with a certificate or a associate's degree. But like I mentioned, you could also get a bachelor's degree. So I'm going to amend this question to what degree do you typically get? But if you graduate from a four-year college or university, then you're typically receiving your bachelor's degree. Degrees like master's or a PhD, you would be in school for a few more years on top of 4 years. And then I believe almost all students got this question right. I can attend college part-time. And so I know for some students, they have to work while in school in order to pay for school that they're currently enrolled in. That's very common. And so for some folks, it's harder to, balance if you have other, family responsibilities or other things going on. And so you can attend college part-time while, also working, if that makes the most sense for you. And then when you're applying for money for college, you're applying for things like grants, scholarships, and loans. So it's typically one application that makes you eligible for all of these things. And then when you are a senior in high school, that's when you're going to be applying for financial aid, like your financial aid applications, as well as outside scholarships. And so the application opens on October 1st every year. And I encourage students to apply as close to when opening as possible. That way you can just, fill it out and get it done, and don't have to worry about it. But you do have time to apply. You don't have to apply like right when it opens or anything like that. I know some students have to need to take some time to get the paperwork, financial documents from their family. And so it's okay if you aren't able to apply like right when it opens, but I definitely encourage students to apply as soon as possible. Also, a lot of colleges do a first come, first serve process. And so they look at like when you apply. And so students who apply earlier are more eligible for more financial aid. So that's also another benefit to applying earlier rather than later. And then I believe most folks got this wrong, where when you start college, your high school GPA will be a factor. When you start college, it is a clean slate. Your grades don't follow you into college, or your grades from high school do not follow you into college. Your GPA does not follow you into college. You start at zero, it's a clean slate. So if you feel like, it's been challenging, and you don't have the grades or GPA that you would like, that's totally fine. Colleges do not care about that. It's a new start for you. And like Wendy said, I know y'all are starting to look into apprenticeship programs, which is great. So all 8 of these careers that I had asked in these 2 questions back to back, these are all, these 4 apprenticeship programs that I mentioned here. There are a ton more. These are just 4 of the ones that sometimes I hear students ask about or don't know you can do an apprenticeship program in. So these are just a few of a long list of apprenticeship programs. And yeah, these are all true about apprenticeship programs in which you get hands-on learning, you work while you're in school, so you're already making money. You get on-the-job training so that you're building your skills. When you're an apprentice, the money you make depends on a lot of times the amount of training you have. So the more training, the more years you've been doing the work, the more you're making. So it's a benefit in that way. And then, yeah, you can get up to a little over 4,000 if you are eligible for Washington College Grant, which is a state federal aid. And then if you are familiar with College Bound Scholarship, it's a scholarship that you would have, or your family would have enrolled you in or applied for when you're in middle school, actually. And so if you either have it or you don't at this point, but if you do have it, then you could be eligible for almost $5,000 in scholarship to go toward paying for college. And then these are the 8 that 8 different career paths that typically only require an associate's degree, and these are going to be the ones that are the most in demand in King County in the next few years. So there's a website that I can share with y'all where you can do research on which of the ones in which there's a gap in the amount of people who are graduating from programs. Like there's a demand in supply for folks in these areas. And so you're more likely to find a job, to have job stability if you're in one of these career paths. There's other ones, of course, if none of these are of interest of you, but if that's something important to you when you're looking for a career in terms of, in demand, then that information is available to you. And then, yeah, I think those were some of the more harder questions. Are there any other questions or anything on here that folks wanted me to elaborate on or talk more about or explain? Or any questions that have come up as we're, you've been, being quizzed on these topics. I'm happy to answer them too. But like I said, my website, ssctrio.com. Once you sign up, I add you to my remind list and you can communicate with me over text or over email if you'd like, or make a time to meet with me over Zoom. But if there's, do you have any other questions, Wendy, that I can answer right now as well? And I've got information in the chat too, so you can click on any of the links to get to those things.
Yeah, I'm good. I think that was a lot of good information. You guys, we have a couple minutes left. No other questions for Christine? These are all things that we can, what about money for school? Like, do you want to give them a quick lowdown of here, here's a student you're working with, they maybe come from a low-income family. How do they get help paying for college?
Yeah, that's a great question. So for most students, paying for college is a combination of various things. So if you it's really hard without knowing your family's financial background, it's really hard for me to give you a direct answer of like, oh, this is how much you're going to get for college, right? So I always encourage students to just apply for financial aid. Let's see how much that college is able to offer you. So the way it works is when you apply for either the FAFSA or the WASFA, depending on your status, then that information goes to the federal government if you're applying for a FAFSA, and the state entity, as well as all the colleges that you're interested in attending. And then from there, the college will prepare a financial aid award package for you with information from the federal government, from the state, and from that college on how much they can offer you if you were to attend that college next school year. And so you'll know exactly how much money you would get. So it's not a surprise or it's not a mystery. That way if that's a factor in your decision-making, then you know exactly like, okay, this is how much money I can get in financial aid. And then this is how much I might still need in terms of, applying to scholarships or working and saving money or working while I'm in school, right? And so it's a combination of a lot of different things. A lot of the adults that have had to take out loans to help pay for college. I know a lot of students are really apprehensive about taking out loans. I had to take out loans. Like I come from a low income family. I was the first in my family to go to college. And I still had to take out loans to attend college. And so it's, there are also other students who can get most of their college paid for or provided for through financial aid. But there's also plenty of people who do have to take out borrow money so that they can attend college, and you just make money out. It's an investment, right? So when you work after college, you're slowly paying back your loans. So I don't want folks to feel like it's a scary thing or to be like a huge deterrent in you attending college. Like if that's if you still have to pay for college, you don't want to take out loans, and let's talk about where those worries are coming from. Like I mentioned, there are plenty of adults who had to take out loans to attend college. And so, just keep that in mind. But yeah, how you pay for college is made up of various factors.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you, Christine, for sharing all this information. And then students, remember that you can sign up for Christine's program. It's free, and then you get services through Christine and access to her. So let's thank Christine for coming today. Everybody can unmute and give a nice round of applause.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
everyone.
Christine. All right, you guys, I'll see you on Monday.
See you on Monday. Have a great weekend.
Okay, you
See you on
too. Oh,
Monday.
no,
Have a
there's
great
no school
weekend.
Monday. No school Monday. It's Memorial Day. I totally forgot.
Enjoy your long weekend.
That's right.
See you on Tuesday.
Have a
Tuesday.
great extended weekend.
Yeah, everybody have fun. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.